Hello, hello. Heather Jean here live with you. I am wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about um, some work that I've been doing recently around essence. And it's something that I've done quite a lot of work on with corporate clients, but not stuff that I've done so much on in terms of confidence through cabaret. And I know that a lot of you have your own businesses. So I wanted to share some of the work that I've been doing around essence. I was doing this kind of for my own personal work, but it very much fits with business as well. And so I wanted to share with you some of the questions to help you explore what your own true essence is personally, as well as what your brand essence is if you have a business. So that's what we're talking about here live. Say hello when you're watching this, and then I'll know that you're here, and share your comments, share your experience, share anything that you want to add to the conversation or questions that you might have as well. So for those of you I haven't met or haven't met recently, I am Heather Jean, and I help women to be able to show up in their lives and in their business by helping heal that mind body connection. And we know that our thoughts create reality in our body. So, for example, if you think about something really stressful, then it will create a stress response in our body, and vice versa. So we know that that's not separate, but we also um, we need to think about accepting ourselves where we are in order for us to be able to make any changes. That is very key to the parts of work that I do. And I think when we accept ourselves then and make those shifts, then that is far more effective than trying to willpower your way through it, because that is not sustainable. So I help women to develop their positive, supportive beliefs that allow you to own your own space unapologetically, that allow you to show up with confidence and explore and share your passion and your voice. And that's really kind of the fundamentals of confidence through cabaret. And obviously, I run lots of different free masterclasses, which are offline so that we have some privacy around, body confidence, around changing your beliefs, around self love. And all of those things help us to be able to grow our businesses, help us to be able to show up expansively, help others to be able to connect with us, especially those in our ideal audience, whether you have a business or whether you just want a following for your own personal reasons. It's really key that we're not shrinking and hiding, and because you know to some degree people will stay with you to a point, but unless you're showing up with confidence about what you're doing, then it's very difficult for people to have that connection, especially because we're not online and we don't have that opportunity of face to face or talking one to one, even on various devices. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about essence. I've just written an article for the wonderful I Am magazine all about essence, and I thought it might be a useful conversation for us to have ahead of when the article comes out, which of course I will post. I've also talked a little bit about essence in today's podcast that is now live on Confidence Through Cabaret, wherever you get your podcast. So you should be able to find the episode, and also on the Confidence Through Cabaret YouTube channel. If you check out the vodcast playlist, you'll find it there as well. So please like and subscribe if you're there. So when you think about essence, it can seem a little bit ambiguous about, like, what is my essence. Of course we all have an essence, and that is really made up of the characteristics that matter to you most, that make you who you are. So it's very unique. And when you're thinking of course about business essence, which we'll come on to talk about in this live, then it would be about things like why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve in your business. So it drives us towards our goals. So there's an intrinsic nature, something that's built in, that we would talk about as our essence. And so if I asked you, what is your essence? Then would you be able to answer that? Now, I know my essence is about joy and playfulness. That is fundamental in everything that I do. I'm very much a a play person. Even if it's something difficult, then there is still room for play and for joy and for, just kind of allowing that positive energy. There's an expression that says, time is of the essence, and we'll all be familiar with that. Especially, it comes up in legal documents quite a lot, or in legal works quite a lot. But when you think about time, that's a we all know that that's fleeting and that that's fundamental. And we talked about that 2 weeks ago in the podcast episode with Julie B. Jones about what that time means, and how we choose to spend it. But a lot of the time, we're not aware of what we're doing with our time, and we're living in our past, or we're living in our imagined future, or a desired future, or a dreaded future, whatever that is. But when you sit and reflect what your essence is, it helps you to really know who you are, and that is amazing for confidence. It's also amazing for connecting with other people, which is of course amazing for confidence too. So if I was to ask you, what is your essence? Do you know? I have lots of being of service is part of my essence. Kindness, or giving is part of my essence. Very much about play and joy, inspiration and positivity, those kind of things. But if you haven't ever considered this question before, I have a few questions that you might want to just ask yourself to be able to do this work for yourself. And what's beautiful about doing this work is that you can come back to it. When you have times where your confidence is dipped, and we always say if you have lots of tools in your toolkit, your confidence won't ever dip as low, and it won't ever stay down as long. So our confidence journey is very much, ups and downs. And when you go back to what is my essence and how do I get in flow with that essence, so when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, then I can go back to how do I get back to my playfulness and joy and inspiration, and that can be very motivating. So here's some questions that you might want to ask yourself or consider when you're thinking about what is your essence. What Think about yourself and the qualities of you. What are your best or your favorite qualities for yourself? Um, Another way to do it, and this is maybe not, it won't resonate with everyone, but what is it that makes you, that's the heart and the soul of you? And when you can, um, sorry, I just suddenly thought, am I in the community or am I on the Facebook page? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I will share it either way. But when you think about what is the heart and the soul of you, then it what is at your core is what we're really getting at there with your questions. And again, you can go back to what are your favorite parts of yourself? What are your favorite qualities? And in this work, we're trying to remain positive. So we're not going into the yeah, but and sometimes, and just what are your favorite qualities? I'm not always playful, but that's one of my key parts of my essence. What do you hold nearest and dearest to you? What is the most important to you? And what motivates, in other words, what makes you willing to put energy into what it is that you do, or what propels you forward, if you like, in your life to find your joy? It might be that you're of service to others. Then in what way? And you can start to get, is it about kindness? Is it about empathy? Is it about, being showing loving? Is it about support? Another question that you might want to think about in terms of your essence is, how do you look after yourself? So how do you allow time for creativity? How do you allow time for, playfulness, or whatever it is that you enjoy doing? Quiet, meditative times, time on your own. So how do you connect with yourself on your own? And then if you're struggling, or if you want to explore a little bit more, you can think about, how would others describe you? Right. So, would they agree with what you've listed? And then what words would they use to describe you? And you can think about others in terms of what you do for them, and going back to service and so on. So sometimes your essence was influenced by your ancestors, or the culture that you grew up in, your family, your community, and this affects who you are and who you're becoming. But you know when we go into that deeper work, we can bypass some of those beliefs, some of those traumas, some of those difficult times as well. And that, again, coming back to the real reason we're doing this, is to help you in those times when you have a dip in your confidence. So what are the characteristics that are at the core of everything that you stand for, or everything that is about you? Your I am, if you like. And there's a quote that I posted yesterday, which was about the energy of the mind is the essence of life, and it is very, very true. That's an Aristotle quote. So the essence, or the energy of your mind is very much what is informing your life, because it is your core characteristic. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to talk about essence in terms of business. So I facilitated an awful lot of discussions around this. Businesses usually have some sort of a logo and color and font and, all of the branding. Even before that, businesses should have a set of values, and knowing what the mission and the vision is and driving towards those things. But at the core, what is there? So, for example, with Apple, their core essence, their brand essence is a simplicity. So, for some people, that's not for them. That's okay. So some people, they would prefer to be an Android user, or same with Macs versus PCs. So that simplicity might not be the right thing for that user, but that's at their core. Another example would be Volvo. So Volvo talks about safety. So whatever you think about that brand, at the heart or core of everything they're doing is safety. For me, Confidence Through Cabaret is about inspiring. And it just is. And if you go and check out the podcast, I talk a lot more about the inspiring heart of everything. But literally, whatever we're talking about, body confidence or self-care or imposter syndrome, which we talk about a huge amount, or the various voices in our head, that living with fear and turning it into excitement, all of those things are always at the core of inspiring confidence. So that is the brand essence, for example, of Confidence Through Cabaret. So if you wanted to think about your own brand essence, then you could be, or sorry, your business brand essence, then you could be thinking about, some questions that are at the heart or part of your reason for being, if you like. So questions that you might want to ask yourself there would be things like, what are the archetypes of the business? If you know what those are, you could think about what is your own personal essence for having your business. And it's a really cool exercise to think about. If my brand was a person, and this is why we started with personal essence, then what would I describe it as? How would that person be? Would they be simplistic? Would they be safe? Would they be inspiring? Would they be I'm just trying to think of some other ones. Would they be refreshing? Would they be unique? Whatever it is, that would be your core brand essence. And it's really fun, because when you do this exercise, you really get to the heart of what it is. If you have others that work on your team or employees, then it's a great exercise to facilitate a discussion around. And ideally, you do this really early on in the business, right? You kind of go. So Confidence Through Cabaret, we knew that Confidence Through Cabaret was about inspiring confidence and inspiring overall. So inspiring confidence, inspiring, taking up space unapologetically, inspiring women to raise their voice and share their message and follow their passions. So inspiring people in their personal life, work life, and stage life. It's very much the essence. And when you start there, then you can build on a set of values. What is it that you stand for? And just as a person does, having their own values of, let's say, honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, respect, lots of different values. You can find out how to do that. If you go on confidencethroughcabaret.com, there's a whole masterclass about establishing your set of values, whether that's for your own personal or your business life. But coming back to essence, you should be starting with that reason for being first, and then building your values, and then building on from there, your mission and your vision. And from there, then you can start to say, okay, so what color is it? Or colors are they? Are there in the branding? What is the logo like? What are some of the brand guidelines around use of your logo? What are the fonts? Those kind of things. Now, if you've already done that and you didn't establish your essence, it's okay. Just go back and think about at the heart of all that you have within your business branding. And there's a masterclass on Confidence Through Cabaret as well around building your brand. Just as an aside, I just suddenly realized this is I didn't even realize when we were putting up the master classes, and we put up a new one each month, that effectively we're kind of going through them step by step. But this brand essence, if you're working backwards from your branding and from your set of values, then you can start to say, what is at the heart of all that? What is the central thing that is the lifeblood of every moment in the business? And the only thing that Confidence Through Cabaret could be described as at the heart of it is inspiring. And we are all about inspiring confidence. We love having you here. If you have questions, I am not a branding expert, but I do have a huge amount of experience with massive global brands and, huge global businesses. So I'm always happy to help you kind of facilitate through those questions. We can jump on a call. We can do this through messages, but I would love it if you would post your own personal essence. So for me, play and joy, and your brand essence. If you have a business that you want to share your brand essence with, and again, inspiring confidence is what Confidence Through Cabaret is all about. So we are Confidence Through Cabaret on all of the socials except for Twitter, which is at YBYWYS, and Clubhouse, I am at Heather YBYWYS. I am always open for discussions, conversations. I'm always, if you want to do a whole, kind of masterclass on this and work through this, I'm always happy to do it. I prefer my masterclasses to be off of social media, because then we're live in the moment and it creates an urgency to it, instead of, I'll watch it on replay later, which most of us never do. So, if you want to get involved with that, let me know and we can go much deeper into it. But your essence deserves to be stated, because you deserve to know who you are at your core, so that you can lift your confidence, so that you can take up space unapologetically and own it. And I wish you all of the enjoyment of creating your essence. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to sign off for now, but I'm always available in Confidence Through Cabaret community, so do join me there. Thanks so much. This is Coffee in the Community. If you want to go live in the community with me, if you want to practice your live skills, if you want to share something that you're putting out there and you want to talk about that area of expertise, or something that you're exploring, or thoughts on your mind, I'm always open for doing that. I love having new podcast guests that inspire confidence, and I love having going live in the community to be able to share and celebrate you. So thanks again. Just remains for me to remind you that it is your body, and it is your world, and it is your stage. Take up space right now. Own it. See you soon. Bye for now.